Hello everyone, I'm Love here, back again with another Awaken Chaos Era video. So in today's video, I'll be creating a guide on the legendary hero Pluto from the Visitors by Sea, which you can obtain him by purchasing this magic pass. And once you reach the 30th milestone, you'll be able to get one copy of him, which you can use him to help you to speed farm the Ash Magisteria as a early as well as a mid-game player if you do not have any great team for the Ash Magisteria speed farming team. And in order to get to the 30th milestone, all you need to do is basically spend energy, like 1 energy here, by performing like farming in the Arcane Dominator dungeon, No Man's Land dungeon or adventure, as every energy will give you 2 magic pass experience. And if you were to perform arena battles, like the 1 versus 1 arena, then every 1 arena pass will give you 20 magic pass EXP. And do take note that every week you can only get 20,000 points. So in order to reach the 30th milestone, 1 week will be able to allow you to reach the 20th milestone. Then you need to farm more points or the experience points for the magic pass to reach the 30th milestone. So this is the 2nd week and I've already able to get 1 copy of Pluto here. So in this video, I'll be creating basically a Pluto showcase on how he can help you to speed farm the Ash Magisteria as an early to mid-game player. And I'll do another like battle for the Helmo stages if you don't have any great heroes to speed farm the Helmo stages. Alright, so let's begin. Alright, so this is my Pluto. Basically, this is his character animation where he throws his gold cup in the sky and he swirls around with his magical blue sword. And this is his 360-degree character design, pretty cool. And if you have not checked out my first impression of him, do check it out because I have gone through all of his character design and whatnot. Alright, so let's check out his stats. So he has an S rating for attack, A rating for critical rate, and B rating across the health, defense, and speed. And I built him as a damage nuker with a 5081 attack, 170 speed, 107% critical rate. You want to crit cap until 100%. And then distribute the remaining points to attack as well as critical damage and speed to him to go depending on how you build a team. And I have around about 261% critical damage and 50.5% focus. Focus is really important for him because he'll be able to apply or inflict some negative effects to the enemies which will help you to survive against the enemy's attack. This is really important, and also he's able to apply some debuff that prevents the Ash Magisteria boss from healing themselves. The rest doesn't really matter, like resistance, agility, and precision. The last 2 stats is mainly for arena. Resistance is mainly for supporter heroes. Let's quickly go through his abilities to understand how his skill mechanics work. So the first one would be the Shipstrander. When attacking, if there are more than 4 enemies including the summon units alive, launches a bonus attack with the ultimate ability and applies defense down to the main target for 3 turns, only once every 3 rounds. So basically in the entire game, the only place that has 4 or more enemies will be the Ash Magisteria. So mainly he's like a MVP hero for the particular dungeon. And he's capable of applying defense down, which requires you to build some focus stats on him, at least 60% to be comfortable in applying those negative effects on the enemies. Once you ascend him, he'll be able to launch another bonus attack with his special ability. So if you were to check his Ascension, he needs at least 5 copies, but I do not think it's necessary here. Alright, and yeah, so that's basically his trait, which makes him stand out among the rest. And then he has his basic ability known as the Airsplitter. Deals 120% damage to 1 enemy and applies unhealable to them for 2 turns. This one's really useful in 2 areas in the game, namely the Wrathful Flood. I think on stage 10 as well as 11, the highest stages of the Wrathful Flood, where the boss has an ability to heal themselves up to 100%. And having him to just use his basic ability on the particular dungeon will help you to farm those boss easily. And the second ability would be the Hunter Squall. This special ability has a 2-turn skill cooldown, which deals 150% damage to 1 enemy and applies damage down to them for 3 turns. What does damage down means is basically the enemy will deal 30% less damage to your heroes. This one is really important, especially for especially for reducing the damage dealt to your squishy heroes like Pluto or any of your damage nukers in your team. And then finally, Pluto's ultimate ability, the Sword Heal, that has a 3 turn skill cooldown, deals 100% damage plus true damage equal to 10% of the target's max health to all enemies. Damage scales with the number of enemies alive, so if there are more enemies alive, then he'll be able to do even more damage. So it's ideal to have Pluto to attack the enemy first before any of your AoE damage dealers goes then. So you want to maximize his damage output against the enemies. So based from his abilities here, it's mainly used for the Ash Magisteria, and he will be able to do even more damage if he goes first as a damage nuker. Alright, so that's basically Pluto's abilities. So let's quickly check out the official developers guide. So they recommended here Warrior Set as well as Avarice Set, which are really good. And ideally for early to mid-game players, right, I will recommend you to use Raider Set instead of Warrior Set, because you might not have multiple copies of him to speed tune him to go first as a damage nuker. And then once you get his Ascension, the plus 15 speed, then you will be able to use the Warrior Set. So in order to get the 15 speed, you need to reach the third Ascension here to get to speed tune him to go first or second in battle. Alright, so let's quickly do a quick check on the Ace Developers official guide. As you can see here, they recommended them Warrior Set as well as Avarice Set. Ideally, you want to get Pluto in a Raider Set instead of Warrior Set, because you need him to go first in the battle to do some damage to the mobs before any of your AoE damage dealers. And if you want to use Warrior Set, you might need to get this third Ascension to get the 15 speed, or you need to find gears that provides a lot of speed subsets, at least like 15 speed substats for him to go first or second in the battle. And then apart from that, these are the players rating. I'm not sure why they give him a very high arena as well as defense rating. Maybe they're trolling them, because Pluto doesn't have any great abilities for the arena. So maybe these are maybe the players just put 5 rating for all of them. So for arena offense and defense is low, maybe like 1 or 2. Then No Man's Land Bane Rift. This one is to farm the wood skills. This one ideally it should be 1, because he's not really good in Bane Rift because he's a weak affinity there. For Flame Lizard, he can do some damage. But yeah, he can do some damage there. But I'll just rate him as 4 rather than 4 or 5. For Wrathful, he can be a support hero to apply the Unhealable. And he doesn't really do much damage there because there's only like 1 enemy there. So this one should be 4 as well. Lot of Holy Light, Shadow Captive. He doesn't bring any value based from his abilities. Same goes with Roaring Topa. This one should be a 1. Ash Magisteria, this one should be a 5. Queen of Tides, there's only 3 enemies, so his trait doesn't really work that well there. He can only apply like Unhealable for Queen of Tides. And he can't really do multiple attacks, so this one may be like a 3 or 4. Fish of the Wind, Gemini Dragon, and Incursion of Light, you will not even use Pluto there. So these ratings are not so accurate. Alright, so that's basically for the Pluto's ratings as well as the recommended gears. So let's check out the gear that I have on him. So for Pluto, I'm gearing him in an Avarice Set as well as a Raider Set. Avarice Set allows him to deal 50% bonus damage when performing an attack over an area, which can only be triggered once per round. So this one is really good for as he synergizes with his ultimate. And for Raider Set, as I explained earlier, you use Raider Set until you are able to get the additional 15 speed from his Ascension, then you swap it up with a Warrior Set for an additional 15% attack. Because my gears are not really good, I do not get much speed substats on my gear. Alright, so let's quickly go over the stats. You can pause the video at any point of time to view the stats for reference. So this is the weapon. It's our speed, attack, critical damage. This one is flash itself. Ideally, this one should be critical rate. And this one is the helmet with some critical damage, focus, critical rate, and flash attack. Ideally, this one should be attack percentage. Focus is useful for him to apply the negative effect. And this is the armor with triple roll critical rate, focus, health, and critical damage. This one is an attack boots with some critical rate, agility, and speed. Agility is mainly used for supporter heroes for the arena. But for PvE content like the Ash Magisteria farming, you want to get this as critical damage. And then this is a critical rate ring with some speed, critical damage attack percentage. Precision is not useful for him because this one is mainly for arena. And then finally, this is the attack necklace with some critical damage, focus, defense, and health. And for his relics, he got some like attack percentage press. Then this is a flat stats health. And then this one is a defense percentage grill. His glyphs and abilities are all maxed out. And I only got a copy of him through the magic pass to boost up his attack by 15%. And he doesn't have any mastery books in him invested yet. And I don't really recommend you to use mastery books on him because they are better legendary heroes that has more use case compared to Pluto, because Pluto is mainly used for Ash Magisteria. Alright, so that's basically my Pluto build. So let's check him out in the Ash Magisteria to see how he can help you to speed farm that dungeon quickly to farm those Raider set, Dragonscale set, as well as the Avarice set. Alright, so we are now in the Ash Magisteria stage 12 where we'll be able to farm the Raider set for the additional 15 speed, Avarice set to allow your AoE damage nukers to do 50% more damage, as well as Dragonscale Set that allows your heroes to take 30% less damage from critical strikes. All of these gear sets, right, are really good for the arena and for the PvE content like the No Man's Land dungeon, Arcane Dominator, Rift of Chaos, and so forth. Alright, so let me show you easy to build team for this stage 12 for early game players. So for this team consists of Joseph, Pluto, Rujago, as well as Noelia. So Joseph is here to provide the attack up buff as well as defense up buff. And then Pluto is here to apply the Annihilable, to do true damage to the nukers, true damage to the enemies. And then he's there to deal with the fire imps around the boss when the boss summons them. And do take note that Pluto has a unique ability that provides all team members' attack is increased by 20% for dungeon battles, which includes all Arcane Dominator dungeons as well as the No Man's Land dungeon. And then we have another elite hero here who is Rujago. He's there to apply the attack down to reduce the enemy's damage, and he also has some capability of applying the Unhealable as well. And finally, we have another damage nuker, Noelia, who will be supporting him to deal damage to the main boss. So we have Pluto to deal with the fire imps, the AoE attacker, and then we have Noelia to deal with the boss. And then for the spells, we'll be using Sundering Purgatory to apply the defense down, and Guy's Renewal for supplementary healing because there's no healers in this team composition. Alright, without further ado, let's get started with the battle. Alright, so here's the battle. So Joseph will be there to apply the Sundering Purgatory, so all of these enemies will receive this defense down to allow your heroes to do even more damage. And then on auto, he'll be using this improvisation ultimate ability to boost up everyone's attack up as well as defense up. So all of my heroes here will be able to do even more damage, and also reducing the damage taken from the enemy's attack. And then Noelia, on the other hand, she'll be using her ultimate Hammer Shock to attack one of these enemies here. And then finally, Pluto will go in with his ultimate ability to knock out all of these enemies here. Okay, and the second wave, Joseph will do his thing. Since there's no enemies with a debuff, he'll proceed with his basic ability. Then buff up the highest attacker hero with the speed up buff. As you notice here, speed up buff is provided to Pluto. And then Pluto will use his special ability Hunter Squall on one of these enemies here. And then moving on would be Noelia with a special that heals herself, and then Rujago will do his ultimate here since there are two more remaining enemies here. Okay, and then Joseph will perform the buff again, and then Pluto will do the ultimate to finish off the remaining two enemies. And now we are at the boss wave where he summons 5 fire imps here. So what Joseph will do, because the game has already changed, once you reach to the boss battle, right, all of your hero skills will be reset. And then now, right, the boss does not have any debuff. Noelia is really useful in this Ash Magisteria because she applies defense down 2, which reduces the boss defense by 50%. This is really huge. So this allows your Pluto to deal even more damage against this boss. So when Pluto performs his sword heal, he will damage these enemies and then he'll follow up with another attack with the Shipstrander trait. So when attacking, if there are more than 4 enemies, including the summon units alive, he will launch a bonus attack. So let me slow this down. Do one attack here. So this is the first attack. Boom. Then second attack. Boom. So he deals two true damage there. And then now the boss have only defense down. Rujago will apply the unhealable as well as attack down. So once the boss takes his turn, he'll deal less damage to my heroes here. And he wouldn't be able to heal himself with that ability there. What makes this team composition really good is Joseph is able to cleanse away that bomb that's placed on Pluto. So he cleanses away the bomb, providing a bonus turn to Pluto to do even more attacks on the boss here. And then Dolar comes in with her special. Then another attack from Pluto, and followed by Rujago. Then my heroes will finish off these enemies here. So this is how Pluto will be able to help you, especially for early game players where you do not have like the popular epic heroes like Bachi or Natalia or Celine. So you can use these heroes to help you farm those Ash Magisteria sets. So here are the main takeaways on the hero builds for this Ash Magisteria stage 12 team. I have Joseph. He's geared in a Raider set. Basically, you want him to go first to cast his ultimate ability to boost up everyone's attack up stats as well as the defense up stats. And then you need to apply some focus stats on him because he'll be applying that defense down, so he needs some focus stats there. And then for Noelia, my second damage nuker here, is there to go second because she'll be able to apply that defense down version 2 using her ultimate ability. And currently I'm gearing her in the mix set of Rage set as well as the Guard set. Rage set provides around about 12% critical rate, and I have 2 sets of them, which improves her critical rate by 24%. Ideally, you want to gear her in an Assassin set to allow her to deal even more damage through her single target attacks. And then, as a damage nuker, you just prioritize on the attack, critical rate, critical damage, and some speed. Speed to go before the boss or enemies, and then some focus stats to apply the negative effects such as like the defense down. And third hero will be Pluto. Is there to deal with the 5 imps around the boss. You just need to gear him in an Avarice set to deal 50% bonus damage against the enemies using his ultimate. And if you're not able to farm an Avarice set, you can use Warrior set instead as a replacement, like a Warrior set as well as a Rage set. And then just build him like a damage nuker, critical rate, critical damage, attack as well as some focus. Focus is really important for him to apply the unhealable, defense down, damage down, and so forth. And finally, we have Rujago here, another elite hero who is there to apply the attack down so that the enemies will deal less damage. And he's also capable of applying that unhealable to the enemy so that the boss will not heal himself, which speed ups the run. And I just build him as like a damage nuker as well, some attack, speed, critical rate, critical damage, and some focus stats. Focus is really important to apply those debuff. Alright, so we are now in the Ash Magisteria Helm Stage 4. For Helm Stage 3 as well as Helm Stage 4, right, the boss have a unique ability known as the Fury Rebirth. And this allows the 5 imps around the boss to recover 30% of their max health upon receiving fatal damage. So if your Pluto is not well built, you need to assist Pluto with another AoE damage nuker like Sierra, Timons, or like Celine or Natalia. So let me show you this team. I'll use an auto battle to show you how fast this team will take. Let me change the team composition. So for this team, right, I'll be using Joseph, Pluto, Timos as well as Baki. Joseph will be there to cleanse away the bomb, provide AoE attack up buff and defense up buff to increase my hero's damage output as well as reducing the damage taken. Pluto on the other hand is there for his leader ability, and he's there for the showcase, for the unhealable, damage down, defense down, and so forth. And more particularly, he's there to clear away those 5 imps. And then I have Timos to assist Pluto because Pluto doesn't have much Ascension here, which doesn't allow him to do much damage. Usually for Helm Stage 3 and Helm Stage 4, you need book heroes. And Demon's here, he's there to assist Pluto with the AoE attack. And then he's there to apply the defense down and attack down. And finally, I have Bucky here. He's book and he's there to deal massive amount of damage to the boss. And for the spells, I'll be using Serene Purgatory as well as Guy's Renewal for healing because there's no healer in this team. Alright, so let's see this team in action. Alright, so at the start of the battle, Joseph will boost up everyone, followed by Pluto to perform the ultimate attack, and then he'll be assisted with demons, who will be dealing a lot of AoE attacks whenever there's 4 or more enemies alive in this battlefield. Now we are moving on to the second wave, where there's only one fire imp to deal with. So teamers will also synergize really well with Bucky to lower their health down, so that Bucky can perform the finishing kill. On the third wave, all of my heroes' abilities will be reset, and then they can perform all of their ultimate abilities. So as you notice here, the fire imps revive, and teamers is there to assist Pluto to clear off all those fire imps, the 30% health. And then Bucky on the other hand will use his roller bomb to deal massive amount of single target attack here. Alright, so there's the bomb, and Pluto and Joseph really synergizes well with heroes that doesn't have any what's it called, the immune buff. This allows Joseph to cleanse away the bomb and also providing additional bonus turn. This one is only applicable if the boss applies to the hero that has the highest attack stats, which is my Bucky here. So Bucky dealt a lot of attack. The reason why Bucky is able to do a lot of damage because his trait, Roller Bomb, ignores 100% of the enemy's defense. That's why he can do a lot of damage here. So this is the second instance where the Fire Imp survive the attack and then Timons wipe them out. So this is how you can use Pluto to synergize with Timons here to make up with his weakness in case if you're not able to book Pluto with these legendary mastery books. So this battle took around about 1 minute and 31 seconds, and I'll show you all of my hero builds after this battle result. So here are the 4 hero builds with Joseph, Pluto, Timons as well as Bucky. Joseph, you just need to build him fast to go first so that he can buff up everyone. Pluto is there to go as the first damage nuker to perform the AoE nuke with his ultimate ability, because his AoE attack depends on how many enemies are alive to do more damage. And then we have Timons to support Pluto because I do not have Pluto book. That's why it's essential to get another secondary damage nuker to assist Pluto here. And then Timons is really good with his defense down and attack down on his special ability. That's why you need to build him with some focus stats. And then finally we have Bucky as the single target damage nuker to assist Pluto in taking down the boss, because the boss has a lot of health and you need a strong single target damage nuker here. And then I'm currently gearing Bucky in an Ascension set, allows him to deal 50% more damage as well as a 50% chance to deal 35% more damage here. Alright, so let me show you a team composition that can speed farm this Ash Magisteria really fast. And this one also involves Pluto. So let me show you the team formation. I'll just use one auto battle here. So this team composition involves Florence, who can apply that AoE bonus attack, increase damage taken, as well as some healing to heal up my heroes. And then we have Pluto here in the leader spot to provide 20% attack. And then we have Shane to provide additional increased damage taken in the form of Karma Down, and also amplify everyone's attack damage output whenever they perform a lot of attack. And then we have Opal here, who replaces Bucky to deal more single target damage attacks against the boss. And for the spells, I'll be using Serene Purgatory to apply the defense down to all enemies and Guy's Renewal for supplementary healing. Right, so let's see this team in action. So at the start of the battle, both Florence as well as Shane will perform their ultimate ability to cast those negative effects on the enemies so that those 2 damage nukers will deal a massive amount of damage, especially for Opal and also Pluto. And then it's really important to speed tune Shane to go second, because it allows him to apply that defense down version 2 using the bonus attack, so you'll be able to do even more damage to the boss wave. And we're now around the boss wave here. The boss will summon 7 fire imps to assist him. And this is where you can see the huge massive damage dealt to these enemies when you combine both Karma Down as well as the increased damage taken from both Florence as well as Shane. So we managed to take down around about 2 health bars of the boss. And oh yeah, it's also great to pair up Florence with Pluto because he can apply that unhealable to prevent the boss from healing himself. So this is one way to really quickly speed farm this boss. So let's check out the battle results, see how fast it took. So the battle took around about 1 minute and 7 seconds. Alright, so let me show you how I built all of these 4 heroes, starting off with Florence, where she's geared in the Fate set as well as a Raider set. Fate set allows her to heal as well as generating a large shield to protect her allies. And you need to speed tune her to go first so that the bonus attack cast to all of your allies, especially for Shane. Shane will be able to apply that defense down for more damage output. And then we have Shane here. He's geared in the Revival set as well as Guard set. Revival set allows him to heal himself, especially for the Ash Magisteria, which is pretty tough on him. And the Guard set will help to survive at least one attack from the enemies here. And then we have Opal, our single target damage nuker. She's geared in an Assassin set to deal even more damage to the enemies. And then we have Pluto, who goes last to do attack using his Avarice Set. Avarice Set is very useful to apply 50% more damage. The reason why I built Opal to go before Pluto rather than Pluto, because Opal needs to activate her joint attack. So whenever Pluto performs his attacks, then Opal will be able to join attack, especially on the boss, so you'll be able to take down 2 bars of his health. And yeah, so this is the main takeaways on how you build all of these 4 heroes. Alright, so I'll be now showcasing Pluto in the Wrathful Flood on how he can help you to auto this stage 10 as well as stage 11. Because the boss will have a new ability which is known as the Healing Spring. So for stage 11, this Healing Spring will restore 100% of the boss max health to this character at the end of the turn. So if you're not able to one-shot the boss within the first round, then he'll be always restoring his health and you'll not be able to beat this boss. However, there's a counter to it. Let's say if your heroes are not built really well to do a lot of damage, what you can do is to bring in heroes that can apply the unhealable debuff. So let me show you the team that I used to speed farm this boss. To showcase Pluto in this team, right? We use Pluto in the leader spot to provide the 30% attack, and he'll be there with all of his abilities disabled. So he'll only be there to apply that unhealable through his basic ability. And then I'll be using 2 unbooked heroes so that we will not take down the boss too quickly within the first round. And then I have Natalia here to help to clear out the first wave. And for the spells, I'll be using Serene Purgatory to apply the AoE defense down to the boss and Smouldering Flames to take down the first wave quickly. Alright, so let's see this team in action. Alright, so at the start of the battle, my heroes will perform the Smouldering Flame. And then I've already disabled Pluto's ability. This one is really important in order for you to auto stage 10 as well as 11 on this Wrathful Flood. So we are now on wave 2. Wave 11 will apply the defense down 2, followed by Pluto to apply the unhealable debuff, which reduces the healing by 100%. So this one is really important. If you're not able to apply the unhealable on using Pluto, you need to increase his focus stats. Then we have Natalia here to perform massive amount of damage. As you can see, we did not manage to clear out the boss health here. So what we will need to do is we will need to do sufficient damage to take out the boss on the subsequent round, maybe the second or the third round here. So the boss has 6% HP left. The boss deals his water bomb here. And we finish the boss in the third round. So this is how you will be able to farm the Wrathful Flood for the water obsidians, water crystals, as well as the water gems. So this battle took around about 1 minute to complete. Alright, so that's the end of my video showcase on Pluto. Hopefully you learned a thing or two on how to set up a speed farming team for your Ash Magisteria. If you have any question, you can post them down below in the comment section of this YouTube video, and I'll answer them as soon as possible. And if you found this video helpful, do give this video a thumbs up, and if you're new to my YouTube channel, you can click on the subscribe button as well as ringing the notification bell to stay up to date whenever I upload a new video on this channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!